Our video topic is I would lose all respect for Bruce Lee if. With all this stuff that's going on in Hollywood, with sexual harassment, the Weinstein thing, and all these women doing what they're doing to get famous or whatnot, this is what I feel. I lose all respect for him if he performed fellatio to get famous and to get to where his position was. Not just fellatio, but any type of intimate acts on with another man, and then there's evidence of it. There's videos of it showing him doing it and all this other stuff. I mean, I would lose all respect for him, because he's supposed to represent, power and strength and being able to stand against corruption. And for somebody to be able to end up doing something like that just to get famous or just get a lot of money, I can't respect that. There's got to be boundaries that you don't pass, things that you're not willing to do. I talked about it with my woman the other night, but there's a lot of famous men out there who would dress up as women in order to take their fame to the next level. If you think, there's a lot of people that have done it, and like Martin Lawrence and Jim Carrey, and she mentioned The Rock did it, and Will Smith did it, and there's all these people that did it to get to the next level of fame. And that, with all the stuff that's going on with the women, saying that these directors would present to them, this opportunity that if they perform this sexual favor, that they'll end up getting, the role. I can guarantee you that there are heterosexual actors out there who are propositioned by male directors or people in power or producers who, if you perform this sexual act for them, with even though they're not homosexual, they still do it in order to get fame and money and attention. And if Bruce Lee was one of those people, there's absolutely no way I could ever respect or look up to that. There's boundaries, things that you will not do in order to get fame. Bruce Lee stood against racism or discrimination against the Chinese. He said, hey, I'm not going to be in any Chinese movies where you're disrespecting the Chinese. He stood up for that. But people like Jackie Chan, no, he didn't stand up for that. Jackie Chan is one of the richest actors out there in the film, and so is The Rock. They're like number one and number two, and there's gonna be things that they're willing to do in order to get to that level. Jackie Chan didn't mind disrespecting his people or his culture. If there's a videotape of Jackie Chan doing fellatio or sexual acts with a producer or a director, I wouldn't be surprised, because that's the type of person that that he is, and that's what he's representing. He's not standing strong for truth or what's right, and Dave Chappelle even mentioned that it was just awkward how they kept trying to get him to dress like a woman, and he didn't want to do it, and he ended up walking away from $50 million and took a 12-year break. And there's things that happen in the industry. Imagine The Rock performing fellatio or homosexual acts in order to get to where he's at, even though he's not, homosexual. He's a heterosexual, but he's willing to do these certain things in order to get to his position. Imagine him doing that, or any of these really famous people out there. I mentioned Denzel. Did he ever dress up as a woman? And my woman said that no, he didn't. But he was willing to do the training day, which went against his core values, um, and he ended up getting an Oscar over it. And she even mentioned how Halle Berry um, agreed to have like real sex on the film of Monsters Ball. Like that was a real sexual scene. It wasn't a fake scene, and she ended up getting an award over it. So you see all these scandals and all this corruption happening in Hollywood with women, where they're doing sexual favors to get in certain positions of power or attention or fame, and men do the same thing, and it's happening behind closed doors, where they're they're doing, there's heterosexual actors that are doing homosexual um, activities in order to get to the next level of fame. And I was just thinking, if Bruce Lee was one of those people, there's no way that I can respect that. And it's like, we gotta know where to draw the line. We have to see how important money is to us. We can't put that above everything. There's certain things in our lives that we just cannot do, no matter how much money they pay us. And when you put money above everything, um, you don't stand for anything, and you don't have any self-worth. You don't have any intrinsic value. You're just a puppet in somebody's hands. However, as long as they pay you enough money, you'll do it. You're not somebody who stands up for truth, because there's something that's beyond money. And Buddha exemplified this through his life. He had all the money, but he gave it all up, and just went seeking towards truth, and just started to teach. There's something powerful with that. But when you got somebody who's willing to do anything for money, I mean anything, um, there's no way that I could respect that. And standing up for truth and your inner values, that's something that I respect. Socrates standing up for truth, and they ended up just poisoning him. I respect that. And Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Tupac, they all got killed, and they knew that the time was coming, but they still kept going with what they felt was right. And I respect that. People that don't put money above everything, I respect those people. They are representing something that is beyond the material. It's the spiritual.